Okay, so where do I want to go next? So, okay, so what does this look like? Yeah, so have I built this up enough that you ladies at least see that why this is important, I hope? Yeah? Any questions on what I just read? Comments? Okay, so I think I'm going to end off with this source. But I want to just read to you. I'm reading now from Bilvavi. It's a 2-page Hebrew source. Yeah, and with this I think we'll end. And that is let's define for a moment what does a person look like who thinks about Hashem. I remember we said that bringing Rav Pinkus again because I think he just says it so perfectly. When we think about Hashem, we are with Him, and when we think about anything else, we disconnect from Hashem. Right? So now I want to just read to you Bilvavi's description of what does a person look like who's so to speak thinking about Hashem. Yeah, and we're going to again flesh this out more next week. But what is the profile, so to speak, of what does it mean? Okay, so I get it. It's important. Okay, now tell me, what does it mean to think about Hashem? How do I do that? Like, what is that? Right? So if you have the source that I scanned for you, it should say Mem Gimel. I'm reading from Mem Gimel and Mem Daled. Okay, and he's going to just give us a profile here of what does it mean to think about Hashem. Okay? Nadia, as my feedback person. You see where I am? Where it says Nun Aleph?
Which source is it?
It should say Bilvavi. It's the Bilvavi source.
Page 1?
And no. Page 1 and page 2. I think I just called it page 1 and page 2. Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
But page 1 has a Nun Aleph, right?
Yeah.
So what is this person who's thinking about Hashem, like what does that look like? And hopefully this will give us a glimpse to what we're aiming for. Okay. Yeah, I hope you ladies have it. And for those of you who are listening to the recording, please try to have the sources printed in front of you so you can follow along. Okay. Adam, you know what? One second. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol mi'edivaro. Okay. Here we go. Whoops. Okay, so what does this person look like? Adam shachai im hamachshava sheyesh borei la'olam b'tmidut. Okay, a person that lives with the thought that there is a creator of the world constantly, right? B'tmidut. What does that mean? Klomar, im hamachshava hazu sheyesh borei la'olam hukam b'boker. Right, with this thought, right, that there is a creator. Again, this is one of those catchphrases that you can just, if you whether you connect more to the Hebrew, you connect more to the English, right? Hashem is right here, right now. Right, the whole, if you read ever Bilvavi in Hebrew, the whole first volume of his Sefer is to drill into you, Yesh Borei La'olam. Like he just says that over and over and over again. And if you ever learn Bilvavi inside in the Hebrew, and we're going to see, he repeats it over and over and over again, kind of like I'm doing, right? But the idea being the more you hear it and the more you repeat it, you have to do that so that that it really gets deep, deep inside of you. Okay, so one of these catchphrases, if the Hashem is right here, right now, that doesn't work for you, so say, Yesh Borei La'olam, right? There is a creator to the universe. Right, with this thought, he wakes up in the morning. Hukam b'boker. Im hamachshava hazu hu notel yadayim. With this thought, he washes his hands. The im hamachshava hazu hu mivarech birkat hamazon. And with this thought, he benches birkat hamazon. Yeah. The im hamachshava hazu hu holech lishon. And with this thought, he goes to sleep. The im hamachshava hazu hu chai la'orach kol yamo. And with this thought, again, which thought? Yesh Borei La'olam. Right, with this thought, he lives all throughout his day. Hachayim im machshava zu bilvad, afilu im lo yizkeh lahamshich ulahasig hala. Right, if you can just, and we're going to see when we get to the power of speech how powerful this is to say these things out loud, But just having the thought in your mind, Yesh Borei La'olam, right? Yesh Borei La'olam. You don't know what that means, and I don't really know what it means to know God, and I'm not some deep philosopher, and I don't know Kabbalah, and this is all too intense, and blah, 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 right? If you just have this simple thought, he's saying, and you go no further than this, right? You don't manage to grasp, any further than this. Yeah, יכולים להפוך את כל צורת חייו של האדם, כל חייו ישתנה מן הקצה אל הקצה. Right? Even if you do nothing more than nothing more. I mean, this is huge. Right? Haravai, we should just do this. But if we did nothing more than just to accompany, to accustom ourselves, to go throughout our day, Yesh Borei La'olam. Right? Hashem, you're right here, right now. Hashem, thank you for waking me up in the morning. Hashem, thank you for giving me the opportunity to eat this meal. Hashem, help me to fall asleep so that I can wake up and have strength to serve you tomorrow, and saying a proper Kriyat Shema Lamita, right? If we just had this thought, Yesh Borei La'olam, it says that the surah, the form of our life, of this person would change min hakatze el hakatze, from one end to the other. Now, this will entirely transform your life, just having this simple thought, Yesh Borei La'olam. Okay, turn to Bilvavi, page 2, and with this I promise to end. Yeah, the next paragraph, or it says page 2. Al ha'adam lahazin ulahafnim zot. Right, again, lahazin. We have to understand and we have to internalize this. Shehabasis hapashut hamidrash mikol Yehudi. Right, that the simple foundation that is demanded upon every single Jew, ben ish or ben isha, man or woman, the ein bezeh chiluk klal, it makes no difference whatsoever. Shetzuras ha'chaim tieh b'tzura sha'kadosh baruch hu nimtza b'machshava b'machshavet mocho v'libo shel ha'adam. Right, that really pretty much says it all. Right, that the form of the person's life should be in this surah, in this form, that Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Nimsa, right, he is found in the thought of the person's mind and heart of the person. The surah Shaha'adam Chai Im HaBorei Olam, right, in the way that this person lives with the Borei Olam, with Hashem. Again, what does that mean? Ochel Im HaBorei Olam, he eats with Hashem. Holech Lishon Im HaBorei Olam, he goes to sleep with Hashem. V'chule v'chule, kol ha'chaim tzrichim lehiyot mitoch machshava al borei ha'olam. Right, our whole life has to be inside of this thought. Again, it all comes down to our thinking. Right, when I think about Hashem, I am with Hashem. Right, it all comes down. We have to be inside of this thought. Mitoch machshava al borei ha'olam. Right, the kadei lahasig et devorim. Okay, so fine. So I get it. So how do I do it? How can I think about Hashem all day long? This is too much for me. Yeah, so now he's going to give us, again, a glimpse as to the how. Yeah, okay. Sorry, where am I? Okay, so how do we get these things, right? Whoever just dropped off, you're going to leave right when we get to how do you do this? In order to acquire these things, lo tzrich liot lo gaon. You don't have to be a gaon. You don't have to be a genius. You have a lo muchshar miyuchad, and you don't even have to be particularly talented, right? What's the one main ingredient that you need? Maspik l'shem kach kurtav shel emes belev sheyichapes emet. Right, emes. V'yichapes et hakadosh baruch hu shehu hatachlis shel ha'chaim. Right, what's the main ingredient? And this is going to bring us full circle to how we started the class. Yeah, what's the main ingredient that you need to walk around and to have these thoughts all day? Like, how is that going to start to happen for you? Right, you need a kurtav shel emes. Kurtav means like a drop. Right, you need to have a drop of truth in your heart that's searching for the truth. Yeah, so you chapes at the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you're searching for Hashem, shehu hatachlis shel ha'chaim, that this is the tachlis, this is the purpose of all of life. So again, it comes all the way back to David HaMelech, right? Mevakesh, 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 right? You have to search. You have to, basically you have to want it, right? That's what he's saying. Yechapes et HaKadosh Baruch Hu shehu hatachlis shel hachaim. How do you search for Hashem, right? That you have to have, again, this droplet of truth in your heart that's searching for truth. Yeah, that, again, and we're going to talk about this a lot more when we get to Ratzon, but at the very first, so what does that mean? That means that when you're going throughout your day and you're feeling, remember we said you have 3 states of consciousness, so you're feeling unconscious, you're feeling blah, you're feeling like completely overwhelmed, you're feeling totally like, what, Hashem, are you doing? This world is totally turned upside down. I don't get it. Yeah, and you stop and you say, Hashem, I want to feel close to you. I want to feel close to you. I want to know how to do this. I want to know how to have this dvakus. I want to understand, how do I think about you? How do I have this das? How can I awaken this within me? And the more, and we're going to talk about, power of speech, power of ratzon, power of bina, but the more we use these tools, right, and the piece that cuts through all of the mechitzas is ratzon, right? You want the relationship, you have to say, Hashem, I want to feel close to you, right? And if you don't have that, let's say say, okay, you know what? This sounds like something that's really important, and I understand this is the it of all its and the end of all ends, and this is the priority of my life, but I don't really want it so much, right? So let's say that's where you're holding. So then you need to want it. Right? Hashem, I want to want it. Right? Let's say you don't really want it yet. So want to want it. Yeah, and you're going to see, when I first started this whole process, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't know how to write a curriculum. I was never a teacher before in my life. But I wanted it. And then piece by piece, that opened the way for tremendous siyata d'shmaya in my life. So I'm going to end there. I did go 5 minutes over what I said I would. But we're going to talk going forward next week. We're going to really flesh out, what does this mean, knowing Hashem, right? What does it mean to know Hashem? What does it mean? What does that look like? And really define this idea of Ein Od Milvado much more. And hopefully, the more we get it really deep into our kishkas, so then we'll be motivated to do the exercises and to do the avoda that's going to really, God willing, bring this to actualization and to fruition. Okay, I'm done talking, but I'm happy to answer any questions. Or
so you're saying? Anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I hear you, Nadia. Go ahead.
You're saying that the how is to want it.
Well, the how, ideally, the how is to want it, and if you're not holding at the place in a how do you get yourself to want it? One of the ways you get yourself to want it is by doing what we're doing, which is why I'm bringing you all these sources, which is I'm trying to upgrade our das to understand that there's nothing more important. How do you want something? It's hard to want something unless you really know that this is the most important thing in your life. Mm-hmm. So really the how is we got to learn. That's why I'm, for those of you who want to skip straight to the tools, the reason I'm not skipping straight to the tools is this is how we're building the Ratzon, is by learning why this is so important. So really, what I would even go before the wanting it is we got to know that this is it. There is nothing else. There is nothing more important than this in my life. And the more you learn, and the more you see the sources, and the more you understand, again, lahavin or lahaskil, and the more you contemplate, and the more you think about it, that's going to build the ratzon. Just knowing, that this is it. This is the tachlis of everything. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want it, then go back and either listen to this class over, or plug into Rav Moshe Weinberger, or go onto my website and go to the zillion other websites that I give you. I also wanted to thank you, Nadia, for bringing this point up, because I do want to just make one caveat announcement, which is to say, if you ladies are relying on listening to me once a week to give you this das, or to help you access this das, it's not enough, right? This has to be something that's running through your brain constantly. So if any of you out there don't have an MP3 yet, or something to download shiurim onto, you have to get something that you can download Shiurim on. You want to know how to want it, Nadia? Listen to Reb Noach go through the 6 constant mitzvahs. Go to aishaudio.com. I'm giving you something very practical. Go to aishaudio.com, find Reb Noach Weinberg on the 6 constant mitzvahs, and just start listening. Yeah, and there's nobody that I know of better than Reb Noach that can build this ratzon inside of you, this desire. That's my personal opinion.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's just one suggestion. But any other questions?
Devorah?
Yeah, hi Leslie, you're still there.
Hi.
I'm so proud of you.
I know I'm still here. So what you're saying is that, like, obviously when you're davening and when you go to bed and, you're saying brachos or whatever, you're thinking of God because you're saying something. But what about when you're doing everything else? Like, most of us, most of the day, are doing other things. Right. Whatever it is, working, folding laundry, whatever it is we're doing, shopping or whatever, doing carpool.
Right. Excellent question. We're going to get there. The short answer to your question is by talking to Hashem throughout the day. We're going to talk about that in great detail when we get to the power of speech. But that's the very short answer. That by just getting into get yourself into the habit of having a running conversation with Hashem. It says about Yosef Atzadik, right? He was an Ish Matzliach. Yeah, he was a successful man, right? What was the secret to his success? We're going to see this inside when we get to the power of speech. But it said he was talking to Hashem all day long. Right? Just before he would go to do a task, he would say, please Hashem. And whenever he finished the task, he would say, thank you Hashem. I sing to my microwave. You're going to think I'm nutso. But my microwave, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Right? I don't really want to have to go buy a new microwave. I turn on the microwave and I sing. I say, please Hashem, please Hashem, please Hashem, please Hashem, please Hashem, make my microwave work. And I do that. And I sing to my microwave. And B'li Ayin Hara, since I started doing that, my microwave isn't working. Yeah. I mean, that's like a really silly example, but it's true. I can't find something. This is the whole thing of teaching Emunah to your kids. If I lose my car keys, anytime I'm losing, Hashem, where is my car keys? You bring Hashem into your household, into your affairs. Hashem, I can't get my kids to bed. Please, can you please help me right now and help me get my kids to bed? Yeah, you talk to Hashem. The more you talk to Hashem, the more real this is going to become. That's the short answer. Okay. And we're gonna develop that
Thank you.
Further. Okay.
I think I do that now. I think I already do that. I do that already. Yeah.
You do that. Okay. So do you feel a difference now from doing that than when before? I mean, you do it now because of Daniel.
I don't know. I think I've been doing this for years, but, I don't know because, that every time something goes a little wrong or something goes a little right, I don't know, that whole example of when you pull out money from your pocket, if you pull out the right amount or you pull out the wrong amount, don't you always think that way? Like, oh, God, what are you doing to me now? Why are you, making me have to go in several times, and why did I trip when I was walking up the stairs? I don't know. Aren't we always thinking about that when things go smoothly and everything kind of flows easily? You feel. I
think you're on a very high madrega. I don't think most of us necessarily think like that. I think that's already a madrega. Plus you've already done this class. This is your second time through, so it's not fair.
Yeah, but I've known you for many years, Devorah.
I know. After, ladies, you want to know the answer, Nadia? If you've been friends with me for 20 years, then after knowing me for 20 years. Anyway, but do you see that? Do you see obviously when you were going through the peak of what you were going through with your son, that's talking to Hashem? Did you see that made a difference?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. But also, seeing how nice everyone else was to us, that was also coming from everyone and coming from God. Right. We got a lot of help. So, all of that was
all the sleeping, all the life circumstances. I'll give you a very mundane example, but just to kind of make the point, if anyone's still listening, or if you have to go, you can hear this on recording. I made a deal. I have a big Yetzirah too that I would like to read my emails before I daven Shacharis. Right? It's not like a huge thing, but again, like my whole day depends on whether or not I do, the avoda that I'm going to be describing to you to do in the morning, and if I, end up starting late, so that mamish throws my whole day off. So I made a deal with Hashem. Okay, Hashem, I'm not going to read my emails before I daven. I'm just not going to, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember this was like not so long ago. There was one morning, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to read my emails, but I'm just going to download some Torah so that when I go for my walk, I have it like already on my MP3. Okay, so I go over to my computer, right? First, like already. Like that's already like I've crossed one fence because I shouldn't even go near my computer at all. Now I don't even go in the room because I know if I step in the room I'm going to see the computer and I'm going to. Anyway, so I'm downloading the Torah, and while I'm downloading the Torah, right, it takes time for it to download and whatever. I'm just going to glance for just a second, right? So I'm glancing at my emails. And I'm not getting, too involved in it. And plus they're good emails, one email from someone, daven for this person. I'm like, oh, well, this I have to read because I'm about to daven Shacharis, so I have to daven for this person. And I'm reading and I'm going through and I'm wasting more time And the next thing I know, not only does my computer go off, but all of the power in my house goes off. And I live on a small yishuv, so that sometimes there's an entire blackout in the entire yishuv. We have a haftakat hashmal that happens, right? So how did I interpret what just happened? So I could have interpreted that situation in a multiple, variety of ways. I could have just gotten totally frustrated. I'm in the middle of writing an email, and why could this is I've just gotten angry and I lost the email and gotten all upset, right? Or I could have just said, or I could have gotten angry at Hashem. Hashem, why did you do that? I'm in the middle, okay, fine, I said, but whatever, what's the big deal? Right? So how did I respond? I was wow. Hashem, you are so involved in my life. You absolutely care about every second of how I spend my day. Yeah, so not only did you turn off my computer, you turned off all the electricity in my whole house, and you caused an entire power outage in my entire yishuv, just so I would get the message about Devorah Yaffa, you're not allowed to read your emails before you daven, right? So
yeah, I would have felt guilty. I would have been like, oh, it's because I went on my emails. Now I caused a power outage in my whole yishuv.
Right, but I didn't feel guilty. I felt like such a simcha. I'm you're really right here, right now. I can't hide anything from you. It was this feeling of awe, of whoa, you are so involved in my life that you honestly care whether or not I go on my computer right now or not. Right? Sometimes a couple times I made the mistake of switching laundry loads before I daven. Every single time I do that, my dryer breaks. Every single time. Until I finally realized, oh, I'm not supposed to change laundry loads before I daven. I finally got the message. Again, everybody to their own nisyonos. But it was very clear that Hashem wanted me to, as soon as I got my kids out the door, I sit down and I daven. Period. Right?
How do you know he doesn't want you to daven before you get your kids out the door?
No, because I have to get my kids out the door. That's, obviously that's my voda. My voda in the moment is I have to, make my daughter her lunch and get her clothes and get her ready. There's definitely, you have to arrange, whatever. Some people get up, super early and they daven before their kids wake up. My constitution isn't built like that. Yeah, some people say you don't
could
have
ask
the luxury.
God. You could say, God, please change my constitution so I can get up earlier.
I tried doing that. It hasn't happened yet. Hashem has very clearly made it clear to me that I need sleep, and every time I've tried to push the envelope on that one, it's always backfired. So my latest thing is I take these Bach flowers, and that gives me energy. But
some people go to bed really early. They go to bed at 9:30, get up at 5:30. They work out at from 5:30 to 6:30.
Right,
and
that's
then
great.
they daven, or I don't know. Then they go home, get the kids off to school. I don't know when they daven.
Everyone has to do their own schedule, but the point is that this is the power pack for your day.
Right.
So, if you have the luxury of, your kids at like 8:30, there's like no one in your house. So like I don't have anyone in my house from 8:30 to 1 o'clock. So I can really arrange my morning however I want, right? If you don't have that luxury, so then you need to, make a workaround. But this time, and again, we're not talking yet about, I'm not asking for a woman, does she have to daven, doesn't she have, the formal davening? I'm not going there. But that a woman, every single Jewish, as she said, man or woman, it doesn't matter what, that we have to have this time to be Lishonim, right? That we have to make this quiet time to think and to contemplate. And as we're going to come to see, to really plug into ourselves as a neshama, because that's the power pack for everything, right? This is my fuel for the whole day. So the days that I don't do this, my days are the rest.
There's so much background noise where I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, well, hold on 1 second.
No, I have to, I actually have to go, but.
Okay, so I just muted everybody. But now let me unmute you, Leslie. Hold on.
So you have the power.
Okay, Leslie, do a star 6. Leslie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Is anyone else still on the line? I'm just curious if I'm just having a conversation, the two of us. Anyone else still there?
I think everybody left.
I'm here. I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, good. Great. Okay, so anyone else have any other questions or points? I mean, I want this to be discussion. Now is just the part where we just kind of internalize all this, so I can hang out for another 10 minutes.
I want to say that I often talk to Hashem during the day, but sometimes
say it again. You often what?
Talk to Hashem throughout the day.
Right.
But then sometimes it's like I don't even know if you're listening. I could be totally talking to myself right now, and it gets me a little perturbed.
Mhm. So how do we get the feedback to know that Hashem is listening?
Yeah.
Right. So that we're not going to really get to for a while. But when we get to the tool of intuition, that's going to teach us how can I quiet myself down so that I can begin to, so to speak, hear the answers coming back. But that's a more sophisticated step. But
okay.
Again, what you're asking is a very fundamental question, which is, first of all, again, I have to know that Hashem is listening. I mean, I have to at least know that intellectually. But you don't want to just know that intellectually. You want to feel the reciprocal relationship flowing back and forth, right? You want to feel like in this moment, Hashem, I want you to talk to me. I completely connect to that. And again, I would just say go back to want and for right now, when you're in that space, and just say, Hashem, I really want to hear from you. I really want to know, what is it you want me to do right now? Sometimes when I'm in that space, and if I'm in a really special frequency, and I'll open up. I have this book of Rebbe Nussin's Tefillos. Yeah, so I'll always open up that book, and every time I do that, whatever prayer I hit upon, I start to sob because it's totally connecting to whatever it is I needed to hear in that moment.
It's the Jewish women's one?
What?
You're talking about the Jewish women
I have a book. I mean, I think he has different versions, but I have a 2-volume set called The 50th Gate, which is a compilation of Rebbe Nussin prayers. I think there's also a book in English called The Gentle Weapon. I think it's called, I think there's several compilations, but somehow Rebbe Nussin had this unbelievable so that's one example. Yeah, I also have this sefer by Rav Suskin called My Father, My King. Yeah, which is a beautiful book, also in English. It's easy to get. And he himself told me that he wrote this book and he called it a resourceful manic state. Suffice to say.
A what manic state?
He called it a resourceful manic state.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is that? And if you open to the book, each page says, here your creator, master of the universe, saying to you right now. Yeah, and it gives, and it's like it's by different subject headings. So sometimes, like Hashem, what's my next step? What do you want me to do now? And again, you have to get yourself into the right headspace for this to really, speak to you. But again, that's one of those books, like I open up and it's just, you feel it. It's just, that's what I needed to hear, right? Or sometimes I'll be, in the middle of a meditation, and there was one point where I was like, I really needed like some female advice. I just needed some like mothering, nurturing female advice. And Hashem, I need to like have this, role model in my life, and I really need to talk to somebody. And in the middle of my saying this, my aunt called me. Like this beautiful,
wow.
83-year-old woman. Like in the middle of my asking. So, okay, so I'm not saying we're not on the level of prophecy where, Hashem is going to say, Nadia, I want you to do X, right? But if you train yourself, I can give you a zillion examples of the phone ringing, in the middle of me like asking Hashem, I need you to tell me what's my next step, or I'll open up this book, or I'll read, or I'll plug in whatever, sometimes I don't really, know what share I'm supposed to listen to. So it's whatever is in my email box, Rob Weinberger on such and such. And it's exactly the share that I needed to hear, because that's exactly the problem that I'm working through. Right? So Hashem's always talking to us. That's the point. But you have to be sensitive to it. Or you'll have a conversation with your friend, and all of a sudden the words that she's saying to you, like you'll pop into this zone of, whoa, Hashem, you're really talking to me through this person.
That's right. Yeah. I have to also strengthen my gratitude for when I recognize it.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Because it's one thing.
Right.
It's one thing to ask for it, but then whenever it comes, it's like so obvious that whenever it comes, it's like so obvious that Hashem runs the world that it's like, okay, and thank you. But like, it's not like enough gratitude that will be there next time I need it.
Right, 100%. Right, we're going to talk about gratitude also. But that was also Yosef. He said, please Hashem, and he said, thank you Hashem, constantly. So 100%. 100%. And you'll see, the more you thank Hashem, the more you proactively build the relationship by thanking Hashem, then he doesn't have to send you the nisyonos. Oftentimes the nisyonos come because we're not plugging in. I mean, again, I don't want to say this is true 100% of the time, but very often Hashem, he sends us these challenges because it's his little tap on the shoulder saying, like, you're disconnected from me. Like, come back in. So if you, on your own, proactively, I have like a little 15-minute ritual that I do every morning where I go through like the 15 things I'm most grateful for in my life, and I say it out loud. And again, the days that I do that, like lo and behold, my day really flows like much smoother than the days that I don't.
Just by being grateful.
Yeah, just, what am I most grateful for? Like top 15 things I'm most grateful for. Top 10, top 5, whatever. But, and the more you detail it, the more you'll feel it. But speak out loud. This is all meant that we're going to come to see when we talk about speech. How this whole thing, remember we were talking about our thinking. Well, so it's very hard to gain a handle on my thoughts, because my thoughts are always, rapid firing, So how do I gain hold of my thoughts? We're going to see a beautiful source that says I gain hold of my thinking through my speech. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but you're asking the question. So the more we speak out loud to Hashem, that's going to help us anchor our thoughts. That's going to help us think that Hashem is really here right now. That's why I had us say it out loud, because there's a power to saying it out loud. Okay?
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, pleasure.
Do you know what number Chaya Levine lives at? Because I'm like right by there. I just don't know where it is.
Oh, you know what? I'll send you an email as soon as I get off the phone. I think it's 46 Katzenellenbogen, but I'm not.
Oh, 46.
I'll send you an email as soon as I get off the phone.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I lost my voice.
Powerful. If your mom is down the street, it was very powerful being there, especially for women. Okay, I think I'm going to sign off.
Okay, thank you. Wait, do you know tonight is the last? Do Do you know if tonig's the last night for
until 10 o'clock. I believe so. Or maybe I think they're getting up tomorrow morning, but like probably getting up right after Shachris. So I believe until 10 she has hours.
All right. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Any other quick questions?
Be well.
I have to go at 7,
yes.
but I have 2 more minutes.
It's a lot of chizuk, really. It is.
Oh, good. Wonderful. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you. See, thank you for the feedback. We also need feedback. We always,
yeah.
So right now, so that was Hashem telling me, like, good job, Devorah, Yaffa, right?
Right.
So
no, I look forward to this very much. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? Lila Tov.
Lila Tov. Hi.
Any other? Great. Thank you, Nadia. Any other quick questions? Leslie, Rachel, we're good? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to sign off and turn off the tape, and we will continue this journey going forward. Lila Tov, Kol Tuv.